final Getsu Potential Ichigo and Aizen,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the differences that they have that somewhat are universal. Because I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if, like, so Ichigo, he gains less awakening gauge typically throughout the match, which I don't
Mm-hmm.
really think matters for him specifically, but he gives more awakening gauge, like when he does his Kikon moves.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a sizable, kind of a sizable nerf for him. However, I don't think it really matters in the grand scheme of things because he just needs to get 3 Kiko moves off, and then you're dead on the third, no matter what, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
Aizen apparently gets to his awakening much faster now than he did prior, and the reason that this is a
Yes, he
little
does.
bit weird of a change, just a little, to me, stop being excited about this, is because
This is great.
typically because of how powerful Aizen's awakening is, his desire is to get to awakening as fast as possible, which
Mm-hmm.
in a sense makes sense that it would be a little bit faster, but it needs to be slow based on how much power he outputs, in my opinion. And so subsequently, the rest of the cast has taken a nerf in how fast they receive their awakening gauge. And so I don't know how I feel about the change. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's good for the balance of the game because people aren't just sitting around and getting an awakening. Like, you kind of have to make different choices now based on the way that the
Mm-hmm.
game is already naturally played. But I just
Mm-hmm.
wonder if putting these two characters in special positions to either receive or not receive awakening hinders the rest of the cast when you make it so that they can't receive the same type of help that they were getting in the first place.
I mean, I think it'll change. I think it'll overall. I don't. The problem is I'm not sure what pace they're chasing. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
If 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 the dev, because one of the things that I think doesn't ever get considered is like what pace does the dev team expect?
Mm-hmm.
If they expect a game to go 5 minutes, then you'll start to see over time. This is the first patch, so it's a little more difficult to see clearly, but you'll start to see over time what they like what they expect, how long they expect matches to take, what their final goals are in terms of like if they have grandiose plans or whatever the
Mm-hmm.
case may be. Like at a certain point, they're looking for a match time. Like I know most people, I know the average individual doesn't know this, but I will gladly tell you, developers have, it might, for others, it's just like an average number that changes per every game that occurs. But they're tracking how long, or they should be tracking how long the games take. And if they want longer games, then this is something that will be reverted. This is something that will be reverted or changed accordingly. If they want faster games, they might move it up a tick. I think it's just up to the players. It's just up to the players to adjust with the changes and be willing to play different styles instead of just straight rush down. Because I think, especially as for a lot of people, it's their first FGC.
Mm-hmm.
This is their first entry. I'm seeing a lot of people like they didn't play fighting games before this, but they love the IP, so this is where they've decided to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. But if you're gonna be that way, you have to be willing to change. Don't just drop the game because oh yeah, now I'm a Aizen main, so it's gonna sound like I'm just trying to gas myself up. I promise I'm not. I care, but I'm not trying to gas myself up. I will use different characters depending on how I feel. I have a preference, but I'll use different characters on how I feel. You have to adjust. You have to be willing to be a little more aggressive here. Avoid hell, comic, my brother, you whew, let me slow down. Comic, my brother did the same thing in our games. That a video you can go see already posted. He'll slow down so that I go into the first evolution because of how much he's aware that the first evolution can limit me. Or first evolution, I use that term loosely, but his first evolution, he changed it based on he fights based on that. And as you should adjust to the person that you're playing. Everybody's not going to play Aizen the same way that I play Aizen. People will play differently. You got to be prepared to be different.
Um, so I agree with you. I get what you're saying. I just think I think that they did a good job with the patch, regardless of the little gripes that we might have. You know what I mean? And obviously, it's not going to be perfect, and I know that there are other things to come in the future. But I was grateful. I think my biggest thing was being grateful to see that they even took the time to really address anything, right? Like, please don't take all